Here's Father Dan showing us some of the cool stuff they have at his church.
Yep, there's a little piece of bone right there.
Holy mackerel.
And that's St. Francis of Assisi.
Wow. Do we know which bone?
It's usually a finger. It's a little piece of a finger bone. I think that's where they usually take the relics from.
Okay. And it's what? It's that?
It's this little... let me put some light on it here.
Oh, that made a little more glare, actually.
Okay.
The horizontal stripe.
No, the horizontal stripe says St. Francis of Assisi.
Okay. It's the little
above it, there's a
above
circle,
yep.
And in the circle, there's a little dot. You might want, if you can get even closer.
Father Dan is now doing the camera work.
Right. That little, in the gray circle, there's the red circle, and there's a gray circle. Inside the gray circle is the bone. So
that means they were able to divide it into
lots of little pieces. Yeah. Because
and
everyone
the parish has to buy that at some point.
You request them and they're sent, and then you buy the container. It's illegal. It's church law. It's illegal to sell body parts. Yes.
Exactly.
Because persons are not for sale. Persons are
only
persons.
temporary. They're only material and.
Well, yeah. So this has. So here's St. Casimir.
Look at the display on that. Just the legs, right? That looks like a cathedral.
Yeah. So that's St. Casimir. This is St. Bernardine of Siena, who Siena College is named after.
Okay.
Up here, St. John Neumann was the Bishop of Philadelphia. St. Pope Pius X, Junipero Serra from California. Peter Julian Amard. We have St. John Vianney as a patron saint of priests. So there's
and this says the True Cross.
Yes.
So what you're telling me is that
that little sliver of wood inside there is reputed to be a piece of the True Cross. Now, the church doesn't expect that you have to believe all of this. The basics for belief are separate.
And what would their verification process have been?
For the True Cross, St. Helen, Constantine's mother, was the one who went to the Holy Land looking for...
Constantine, it's like 300...
Exactly. She's the one who went to the Holy Land looking for the cross.
Right? Can you imagine that?
The problem being that lots of people were crucified on lots of crosses. It was a pretty common way to kill somebody, to execute somebody.
Nothing of 300, 400 years go by, and wood tends not to hold up under weather.
Right, yes, exactly. And we, of course, even...
Was it pressure treated?
Unknown. What the way the story comes to us... Right. The way the story comes to us is that she found 3 crosses, and unsure of which one, decided to test and touched them all to some different people who needed to be healed, and the one that caused a healing must be the True Cross.
Okay.
And the other 2 must belong to the other 2. But again,
who were actual criminals.
I'm sure lots of people were killed on. Yeah, exactly. I'm sure a lot of people were killed on the cross of Jesus before him, and a lot of people were probably killed on that same cross after him.
Good point.
It's good not point. Like.
Well, then they couldn't have reused it, because if it was going to heal the person they were going to try to kill on it again.
Well, again, things we don't know. So there are bigger chunks of the True Cross around the world than this one. These little slivers that are sent around the world to different churches that churches have requested. We have them.
I've never been in a church that had a display like this.
But we're not expected to put all of our spend all of our time and all of our energy of belief on even the Marian Apparitions. Yeah, on relics, and even the Marian Apparitions. You don't have to believe them to be a part of the church. Like the basics for belief that the church has are actually pretty minimal. And then there's so much more to believe, of course. And do I believe this is a piece of the True Cross? Yes, I do. But I don't expect that this is the thing that that I need to convince everybody of, because the scientific evidence is weak and all those other things. So I only have so much time to spend on all this anyway. What I need people to know Jesus, and this is a nice add-on.
I floated the possibility to Father Dan after this conversation that perhaps the church had enough budget to send him and me to Assisi, where for 1 month only, the remains of St. Francis were on display this year to mark the 800th anniversary of, I believe, his death. That did not come together.